Good morning, campers. About 6:30 in the morning, I'm leaving the Killington Motel. I'm doing a half-mile road walk back to the trailhead. Had a good stay there. It's very convenient to the post office, so the motel was behind me, up there. And then here is the post office, right there. And then here, right there, I don't know if you can see it, the deli. We'll see it in a second here behind me. Deli marketplace, that's where I got a sub, and I got some beer, and I got some salsa and cheese and yogurt and stuff like that. Not a full resupply stop, but you could make do for 2-3 days with what you find in there, with the exception of maybe your dinners. It might be tough to find stuff for dinner in there unless you just like snacking on stuff like sausage and cheese. But yeah, here's the market and deli right here, right behind me there. Incidentally, there's 2 outlets outside. There's one by the wooden park bench, which looks kind of beat up and rusty. I don't know if it works. And then there's one down at the end of the wall. It's underneath a cover. It just looks like a little rectangular box on the wall, but it does have outlets in it. Oh, by the way, there's a sign when you walk into the deli, the market deli, that says no restrooms. Okay, but the gas station here, see right there, porta potties. So you got 4 porta potties. I don't know if they're always there, but there's 4 porta potties behind the gas station. So if you gotta go, there's your chance. All right, I'm gonna finish my road walk, get to the trailhead, and I'll start talking again once I get down there. Oh man, can you imagine if I see a moose? I would love to see a moose. That'd be awesome. Okay, I'm off the road and just heading onto the trail. It's a little bit of some boardwalk here. So now it's quiet. So today, 16.7 miles, not including the road walk I just did, which was about a half a mile. So really 17.2 miles. Headed to the Wintturi shelter, I think that's how you pronounce it. Wintturi or Wintturi, Wintturi. In any event, that's where I'm headed. My pack is super heavy. I got a good week's worth of food. I only really need 6 days, or really 5.5 days, because half day today because I just had breakfast at the motel, and then a half day Friday because I get to the hostel and hopefully I'll be able to get some dinner there. So I'll have more food than I need. So, but I'm trying to eat more calories. I've lost at least 15 pounds. I may have lost another pound or 2 since I got back on the trail. 3 weeks ago. So anyway, it's gonna be a nice day. It's gonna be warm, and I got one big climb up Quimby Mountain. Looked like about 1,500 foot climb. I'm thinking that's relatively early on, so I'll check back in. Well, no sooner did I get into the woods than I had to put on my bandana and my arm sleeves because of the bugs. The mosquitoes are just everywhere. There was one just on me, on my arm sleeve, trying to bite through it. Probably could do that, even though they're treated with insect shield. They're tough little buggers. It's gonna be a long 16.7 mile day because of the heat. I'm gonna get in the 80s again today, and my pack's so heavy. So that's why I wanted to get an early start. I started about 6:30. I wanted to start at 6, but trying to double check everything and triple check, make sure you got everything, and your stomach's kind of flip-flopping in the morning, and especially when you're leaving town knowing you're getting back on the trail for another stint before your next town stop, which for me will be this Friday. So, but right now it's beautiful. Sun's up. It's cool. It's very still. No wind. And we will see how the day goes. Sign designating Mountain Meadows. Huh. Must be some kind of motel or a little dock here. Very nice. That's a different Mountain Meadows than the Mountain Meadows where the Mormons massacred all those people back in the day. That was out west somewhere, the Mountain Meadows Massacre. Whenever I hear Mountain Meadows, that always makes me think of that. The Mormons slaughtered everybody in this wagon train party. Anyone who was over 8 years old, I believe. And then they kidnapped the 8-year-olds and under and raised them as their own. Not something Mormons like to talk about, but that's a historical fact. Oh, now I'm in a coniferous forest. Pine needles and pine trees. Very nice, very quiet. I don't know if I mentioned, but you may have noticed I have a different shirt on now. It's a new shirt. It's 100% wool, merino, very thin. Between 100 and 150 grams per square meter. So lightweight. Icebreaker. It's an icebreaker shirt. I believe I got it through REI. I'm trying this rather than my Capeline Patagonia shirt just to see how it is comfort-wise and stink factor, because wool is supposed to have antibacterial properties and keep the stink factor down. And it's supposed to keep you cool when it's hot and warm when it's cold. So I guess we'll see. That's only up to a point, obviously, but if this shirt works out good, I'll buy probably one or two more, and I can rotate through them. Not, carry them all, but when this one starts to get kind of funky and washing doesn't help anymore, I can send it home and have my wife send me a new one. So, all right. It's very nice walking right now. It's a nice trail. Pine needles. Although it looks like getting back into deciduous forest, judging from the leaves and all the trees. Yet there's still a lot of pine needles around. So I think the coniferous trees are up high, and you can see some of them up there. Those are the coniferous trees with the pine needles, and then below them are the deciduous trees. So they're coexisting, interesting. And then the trail has all the dead pine needles from the coniferous trees, which makes for a very nice walking surface. Okay, so it's an hour into my hike today, and I checked my positioning, and it's 1.6 miles from the trailhead. Plus I had the half-mile road walk from the motel. So that's 2.1 miles my first hour, so that's not bad. I wish I put my arm sleeves on and my bandana before I got in the woods, though. I think some of the mosquitoes got to me before I got my sleeves on. Like, literally, I put my sleeves on within 3 minutes of entering the woods, and I could feel itchy spots on my arms. Those bastards got me, I think. I don't think they're biting me through the sleeves. I keep looking and I don't see any bugs landing on them. But, much fun. So, just going to keep up this pace. Just keep plodding away. It is going to make it tricky when it's time for a break in a couple hours. Like, how can I stop if I'm just going to get swarmed by mosquitoes, I may have to get out my bug net, put it over my head, and lift it up to eat. I don't know. But I guess we'll see. Maybe the mosquitoes will calm down. I'll get away from the marshy area or wherever it is that's causing to breed. Okay. Wintturi Shelter 14, that's where I'm going. A warning here about bears. This was 2 years ago though. So here's a good example of why these signs can be confusing. So point 1 down the trail where I just came from, it said Wintturi Shelter 14 miles. I come a point 0.1 miles, now it says it's 14.2. So somehow it got 0.3 farther away between those two signs. So you got to take these signs with a grain of salt. Don't bet your life on them, whatever mileage it says. Always check your GPS. Okay, I stopped to catch my breath. I guess I'm climbing Quimby Mountain now. I haven't checked the GPS, but that has to be it. It does have switchback. There's a mosquito on my sleeve. Son of a... I don't know if they're biting me through these sleeves or what. That insect shield treatment should be keeping them away, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. In any event, there are switchbacks, but they're really steep, which kind of defeats the purpose of a switchback. The purpose being twofold. Number one, make it easier for people to climb to the top of a steep place, so you're not going straight straight up the hill. You're zigzagging gradually back and forth up the hill. So think of the difference between a stairway into a building versus the wheelchair ramp. The stairway is more direct, it's shorter, but it's steeper. It's practically a 45-degree angle, depending on the staircase. Whereas the wheelchair ramp, it's much more gradual, but it's longer. It takes longer to go up it. So that's your trade-off. Do you want to take more steps that are easy or fewer steps that are hard? The second purpose of a switchback is to help mitigate erosion, because if you have a trail just go straight down a mountain, when it rains, the water, there's mosquitoes, the water's just going to be channeled straight down that. It's going to wash, topsoil and everything away and just make it a big rocky ravine, basically. And switchbacks make that less likely, makes the water, work harder. It can't, navigate those switchbacks as easily as a person. And also you can do erosion mitigation at the turns in the switchback to channel the water away from the trail. So anyway, I still have more to go. There's a switchback behind me. It's going up that way. But I'm already sweating. It's only 8:15 in the morning. Good Lord. It's going to be in the 80s today, and the mosquitoes are just hovering, so I got to get out of here. I'll check back in when I get to the top of Quimby Mountain. Oh, God. I've been going uphill for over an hour. There's still more uphill. Very few flat sections to kind of catch your breath. It just keeps going up, 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 up. Steep climb. Well, it's good prep for the whites, I guess. But holy cow, it's not even 9 a.m. I'm soaked in sweat in my shirt. You can see I've already sweat through my shirt. Face is dripping already. Good Lord. There's no breeze. It's totally still. Whew. Tough day. Glad I started early so I can get to camp and get to bed early. Holy cow. Nice little stealth site off the side of the trail here, up on the top, or near the top of Quimby Mountain. I don't see anything else that's higher than I am right now. I was hoping I'd get a view, a lookout of something I could kind of see the valley below, but maybe this is a small mountain before I get to the real top. That was a solid hour and a half of straight uphill climbing with almost no flat sections. Holy crap. Just think of that next time you watch a movie, and just imagine while you're watching the movie you're doing a Stairmaster the whole time. And it's 75 degrees. You're in your sunroom and the sun's beating on you. You can't have a fan. Mosquitoes are swarming you. And you're carrying 30-something pounds on your back. I've probably got 32, 33 pounds right now, as I'm fully loaded with at least a week's worth of food and 1.5 liters of water. Holy crap. Oh, God. That's the biggest climb of the day, thankfully. Not the only climb, but the biggest. Whew. That was tough. That was tough. Holy cow. All right, I got to keep my pack light when I hit those whites, baby. I got to really strip down to the bare essentials when I go through those whites. And just take anything out I'm not going to need for that week to 10 days, whatever it takes to get through the whites. Ship it ahead of myself, pick it up after the whites. Just go bare bones, baby. And that might include just cold soaking my dinners, no stove, no fuel. Save myself some of that equipment. I don't know, we'll see. I'll see how I feel. I'll see what they say at the Hikers Welcome Hostel too. They're going to have good advice. But I seem to have reached the top. I mean, that's a little bit of a downhill right there. Boy. Those are the ski slopes here in Vermont. I'm not sure which ski slopes those are. But I decided to take a break here because at the view, power lines are coming through this area. That's why. Also, the bugs weren't quite as bad here as they are inside the woods. I just checked the GPS. I've only come 4.7 miles. That includes the half-mile road walk, so that's kind of disappointing. But I did have that huge, steep climb, and that's the biggest one of the day. So I should be able to make a better time for the rest of the trail. I mean, 4.7 miles in almost 3 hours. Holy crap. That's like 1.5, 1.6 miles an hour. So I'm going to try to push that up to 2. I still got almost 12.5 miles to the shelter. So if I can do 1.75 miles an hour, what's that, about another 7 hours or so? Plus another probably 2 more breaks. So 8 hours. So I won't be getting into the shelter till between 5 and 6, I'm thinking, the latest, unless something happens, unless the terrain gets a lot more difficult. But anyway, just going slower. It's a lot of weight to carry. There's no wind. It's easy to overheat. The bugs are bothering me. So we'll see how I do. That's where I just sat for my snack break. And I've come up with the perfect formula for my trail mix, at least what tastes good to me now. I've done away with like the M&Ms and the dried fruit and stuff. It just wasn't appealing to me anymore. So now I like mixed deluxe nuts, roasted and salted. So like cashews, peanuts, almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts. Sometimes they throw pistachios in, occasionally pecans. But so I take that, just regular Planters deluxe mixed roasted and salted nuts. Then I add roasted and salted edamame. Those roasted and salted chickpeas, I think they're called Bada Boom. You add those. You add also pumpkin seeds, roasted and salted pumpkin seeds. And let's see, is there anything else? If there are no pistachios in the mix, get a little bag of pistachios, add those. And macadamias are good to add too. Lots of good fat in the macadamia nuts. So that mixture, for whatever reason, it's just the right combination of crispy, oily, salty, nutty flavors. Anyway, I could eat that all day. So, all right, I'm heading out now. There's a shelter in 2.5 miles. I might stop there briefly if it's close to the trail and sign the register and just sit briefly. I don't really need a break in 2.5 miles, but we'll see what's there. This is the Stony Brook shelter, and I just stopped here for a quick snack. My pack, obviously. It's not bad. It's got a nice high ceiling, unlike most shelters. I can easily stand up in here, you know, not bang my head on stuff, which is a rarity in shelters. So, anyway, I'm gonna hit the trail again. I still got 10 miles to go to this next shelter. I've already taken 2 breaks in 7.2 miles. So my plan is to go another 5 miles, take 1 more break, and then push on to the shelter and be done for the day. It's 11:20, so I got 10 miles to cover. 11:20. If I did 2 miles an hour, that's 4:20. I'm not going to be able to do 2 miles an hour probably, so I'm still on target for between 5 and 6. So got to get going. So as you can see, the Wintturi shelter, that one has 2 R's and 1 T. I thought I saw somewhere else where it had 2 T's and 1 R. Anyway, 10 miles. The terrain is a little bit like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, but small, like 100 foot, couple hundred feet. No climbs of more than 300 or 400 feet at the most. So hopefully I'll be able to do a little bit quicker pace in terms of my miles per hour, and get there closer to 5 than to 6. But either way, I'll be fine. I have plenty of time to set up camp and get ready for bed. Okay, yeah, so there's a huge drop here, and they've installed a ladder to lower yourself. Because it's a long drop down. You can see it's about an 8-foot drop. So my question is, before there was a ladder here, how did people get down? Was there a rope? How did Grandma Gately get down? I'm looking around here. I guess you could kind of go over to the side there, but I don't think they want people to do that, and roading kind of down that way. You could kind of go down around and curve around. It'd still be tricky, but you could do it. All right, I gotta put the phone down so I can climb down this ladder. Jeez, throw my trekking poles down there, I guess. All right, here goes nothing. Okay, I decided the heck with it. I can probably do this one-handed. I don't fall to my death. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay. That's not too bad. All right. Whew. Yeah, so there's the ladder, and there's the ground. There are my trekking poles. I threw them down. So that was fun. Something different. And I gotta go up this little hill. And I can turn back and get a full shot of the ladder here. Let's get up to the top of this thing. Alright, so there it is. There's the ladder. Crazy. There's more of that though, from what I hear. So I just ran into another hiker, section hiking, but she did the entire trail, through hiked it in 2018. And so I was asking her about the whites, and she gave me some information about the whites and about Maine, and just things, I'm just tucking away in the back of my head so that I can come up with my, best in class plan to get through the whites. So we'll see. Her name was Research, trail name. So thanks, Research, and hopefully everything will go as planned. It's 3 o'clock. I just took a break by a little creek, filtered some water, rehydrated, had a snack, spent way too long there, and it's now 3 o'clock, as I said, and I still have 5.3 miles to go to the shelter, which means I have to maintain a 1.8 mile an hour pace in order to get there before 6. So that's my goal. 1.8 miles an hour, get there before 6. There's a place called The Lookout on the way there. 0.1 off trail. It's a privately owned cabin. They'll let hikers stay there. Supposed to be nice views from the roof. I mean, you can stay there. There's no water. There's no privy. I don't know why you want to stay there unless it was really bad weather. It's, it's a cabin. It's enclosed. You don't have to worry about wind and cold and whatnot. But on a day like this where it's hot and stuffy, I can't imagine being inside enclosed. So I'm going to go on to the shelter. I don't think I'm going to stop there. I mean, there's plenty of views ahead. So I just rather get there, get camp set up, get myself sponge down, sponge bath, make dinner, and get to bed early. It's 4 o'clock, and I just checked my position. I got 3.3 miles to the shelter. So that's pretty good. I needed to be at least 3.6 miles to the shelter in order to be on target for my 6 o'clock arrival time. So I'm slightly ahead. Had a big uphill push again. Not as big as this morning, but tired me out. I've been slugging down a lot of water and electrolytes. Every 15 minutes I chug down like 5 giant gulps of water. Trying to stay hydrated. Wind has started to pick up a little bit. It's nice, it feels good. But there's a storm coming. They're calling for thunderstorms at 3 a.m. So I'm probably going to have to sleep in the shelter because I might be trapped there for a little bit tomorrow. I have a short day tomorrow, only 12 miles or so. But I may be stuck in the shelter if there's thunderstorms and lightning and the rain is really heavy. I don't want to be hiking in an absolute downpour on my second day on the trail after 0 after my birthday. Because I won't be getting laundry, chance to dry everything out until Friday when I get to the Hikers Welcome Hostel. So anyway, that's the plan. Just keep plugging along here, get there by 6, and then see what the shelter situation's like. And probably have to sleep in there as long as it's not buggy. If there's a lot of mosquitoes, I may be trapped in my tent. I guess we'll see. So it's about after 4:30, and trail is like basically a dirt road at this point. It's pretty nice that way, pretty nice up ahead of me. So I might make better time into camp than I thought. I might get there, depending on how long this goes, 5:30, between 5:30 and 5:45. So we'll see. In any event, I'll definitely be there before 6 with this stretch of trail like that. So that's good. I like that. That makes me happy, even though I'm hot and sweaty. So now I'm confused. Some places spell it with 2 T's, some spell it with 2 R's. That says a 1/4 mile. The guide says 0.2. So you gotta take everything with a grain of salt. But I'm gonna find out if it's 2 T's or 2 R's. I'm not sure how I can verify it. But I will find out for sure what the correct answer is.